You believe if a woman's not married, she should only have one child?
Yes.
Hit me.
Because it's complicated, Pin. Like, it becomes a lot to have multiple fathers to
And
your children.
and the other way, men having kids
It's
with
different for
multiple
men.
women?
Unfortunately, that's just the way that the world we live in, right? Because the mother is the primary caregiver, she generally gets left with the child most of the time.
True.
And men spread their seed. You would know all about.
I wouldn't know anything
you
about
would
what
know
you speak.
all about spreading your seed.
Those are jabs, by the way, and that's not nice at the beginning of the year. You're meant to be gentle after a holiday. So it's based on this thing of that men generally don't live with their children.
Right.
It's something my brother's spoken about, that it's very different being a stepmom. Because the man you're going to be with normally doesn't live with his kids versus being a stepdad where you're coming into a space where the woman's living with her children.
Right.
In a situation where the woman maybe sends the kids to the grandparents or the kids live with the father, then they can have more kids with more baby daddies.
I've never been a fan of the whole when you are married, now leave the child that you had before your marriage with your parents because now you're going to go start a new family. Like, it doesn't sit well with me. I honestly feel like you rob your child of having you there as the mother. And grandparents generally don't, this is just a generalization, this could be different. They don't instill discipline as well as parents do. So grandmothers tend to be more lenient, and it's because of the age where they are, I think, in life. So I don't like it, but I know that people do it for whatever reasons. No judgment. It's just not my preference.
Do you think we were meant to raise our children, or do you think our parents were meant to raise our children?
We were meant to raise our children.
Why?
The discipline factor is a problem. My children lived with my mom until my firstborn was going to start grade R.
Grade R. So about age
Yes.
6 sort of.
Yes.
Sure.
So, yeah, no, they're in line now. I'm here.
How?
Yeah, no.
Is
I
it not
don't
just a
have-
personality thing, maybe?
It's not a personality thing. Like, if you speak to people and you'll hear the conversations amongst women with children who live with their grandparents, there's a disconnect and a discipline issue there.
My brother taught at a couple of private schools. Some of the most expensive and most prestigious private schools in the country. And one of the things he noted while he was there, because we come from X-Model C in Newcastle High, was a lot of the kids, not most, just a lot of them, the school fees was being paid for by the grandparents. They have a trust fund, the grandparents pay.
Yeah.
And what this does is it frees up their parents to then focus on the hustle. So you start thinking about it maybe from a nature perspective, especially where we speak about being raised by the village. Everyone was around. If you're misbehaving, the woman or the people next door can beat you up. If you're hungry, you can't go next door. So when you're young, you have a lot of energy, 20s, 30s. And I'd like to think that's when you should be hunting. That's when you should be creating. That's when you're performing, traveling. You may not necessarily have the patience, the nurturing ability, and even life experience and wisdom to maybe be plowing into kids. So from that perspective, can we not argue that maybe in a perfect world we're meant to have kids, give them to our parents who have retired, have money, so that we can go and chase money for our grandkids and also money to support our grandparents and the children, so that we don't have to get a nanny, so that we don't have to send them to boarding school. Our parents are already there.
I hear you. I think my perspective is different because my mom is a corporate girly.
Okay.
So she works.
Okay.
There's no time for being a grandparent. And it was actually the promotion to Bulukwane that pushed the agenda for me to actually take my children, because she was like, I could go with them. And I was like, no, bring my kids.
Yeah.
Like, you've given me this time to establish myself in Johannesburg. I feel even though I'm not where I want to be, I have a supportive partner. We're doing this thing together. We can make it work with the children. Just bring them. You live your life, girl. Because she also had me when she was 20. So, like...
Is that young?
Yeah. That's mad young.
Mad young!
That's young. Especially because, like what you were saying, it is preferred when you are younger and have more energy. It may be a better option to leave your children with your mother. My mom had me and was with me the whole time. She didn't get to be young. So she didn't get to be young. Then I have kids. Now she's parenting again. Like, can the girl get a break?
I hear you.
Yeah.
If your mom was more retired, chilling at home,
it would probably be different.
And she probably wouldn't have let the kids go. She'd be like,
they don't want to let them go also. That's another layer to this conversation.
But are we not meant to birth kids for our grandparents, to help them around?
I think in the Black community, yes, that's a thing. Yeah. I've heard so many people say that. And I don't know about other provinces, but I know in KZN that's big.
Especially your firstborn.
Yes,
especially
your firstborn is your parents' child.
Parents' child.
Then you go and have your own child later on.
Yeah.
But I worry about the psychological effect on the child as well.
In the modern society, because it feels like you were abandoned or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If it was explained properly, maybe it's something we could look into.
Perhaps. Not opposed to it.
Okay.